everyone. For those who don't know who I am, my name is Joe. For those who do, my name is still Joe. We're going to go further into this Gospel of Judas, actually. Change of location, and I'm going to probably get distracted, so we'll try to make this video as short as possible with the reading and everything. Apologies ahead of time if I'm a little more distracted than anything. I'm in the gym currently, and I got one of my good buddies actually heading towards this way. He just got blocked. All right. Okay, so we're gonna go to page 47. I'm not 100% sure here because we'll start at page 47 and go till the next subtitle, which is page 52. It looks like this is more of like a summarization or something above, like before the actual translation of Judas. Maybe this will give more context to the translation. Maybe not. We'll see. All right. So page 47 on the page, if you're looking at the top bar, it's 50 out of 189, 50 out of 189. The story of Codex to Chakos and the Gospel of Judas. This one's written Rodolphe Kasser. Alright. Yeah, this is definitely a summary of this writer's thing, like his experience before getting the hand, when he got a hand on the Gospel of Judas. So let's get into it. I know this isn't really more of like reading of the Bible, but this might put a little more research into the Gospel of Judas and what everything means here. So let's get going. I let out a cry when I saw for the first time, on the evening of July 24th, 2001, the object my very embarrassed visitors had brought for me to examine. It was still a completely unknown cultural document at this date, with such a powerful text and yet written on material so frail, so sickly in appearance, so close to ultimate extinction. The papyrus Codex, written in Coptic, more than 1,600 years old, had been damaged by so many misfortunes, many of which could have been avoided. It was a stark victim of cupidity and ambition. My cry was provoked by the striking vision of the object, so precious but so badly mistreated, broken up to the extreme, partially pulverized, infinitely fragile, crumbling, at least the contact, the ancient book, to which was later to be given the name Codex to Chakos. Probably saying that Chakos? Something like that. Was that evening a poor small thing pitifully packed at the bottom of a cardboard box. How was it possible that such vandalism could occur at the dawn of the 21st century? How could this have happened in a milieu? One of the art merchants, well known of the gentleness of its methods and careful work. Of worse yet, in an environment even more noble and honorable, the world of scholarship. July 24th, 2001 clearly divides the history of Codex Chakos into a before and after phase. After this date, I can tell of my own experiences, but concerning what really happened to the Codex pages before this date, I have no personal knowledge. However, the Codex bears the scars of this period. The Mechanis Foundation for Ancient Art, the current owner of the Codex, which has the responsibility for safeguarding it and providing the initial publication of its content, has made a considerable effort in trying to reconstruct the before phase and asked Herb Krosny to investigate and document this search independently. His zealous efforts are provided in his book, The Lost Gospel, National Geographic Society, 2006. And I have had the opportunity to take note of some of his findings. In its present dated state, Codex Chakos contains parts of 33 folios, or 66 pages, paginated regularly in the numbers that survive because of the mutilation of the folios. The numbers of pages 5, 31 through 32, and 49 through 66 have disappeared. This manuscript is sometimes called Codex of Judas, from the name of one of its texts, but it contains in fact 4 different tractates. Pages 1 through 9, the letter of Peter to Philip, with approximately the same text as the second tractate of Codex 8 of the Nag Hammadi library, with the same title. Pages 10 through 32, James, with approximately the same context as the third tractate of Codex 5 of the Nag Hammadi library, there entitled The Revelation of James, or the First Revelation of James. Pages 33 through 58, the Gospel of Judas, a completely unknown text until now, though its title was mentioned by Irenaeus in his work against heresies. Pages 59 through 66, a seriously damaged tractate, to the point that its title has been lost, but which scholars have agreed to designate the Book of Allegories, from the name of the main character in the tractate. This tractate has no connection with the third tractate of Nag Hammadi Codex 9, 11, could be 11, entitled Allogens or Allogens the Stranger. Dark birth followed by a tormented childhood, the Egyptian and Greek dealers. Herb Krasny reports that the Codex has been founded during a clandestine outing probably around 1978 in Middle Egypt. The linguistic patterns found in the text of this manuscript confirm this origin, since all of them belong to a local Middle Egyptian variety of Sahidic, the southern super-local Coptic dialect. The excavator probed a tomb dug inside of the Jebel Qarara bank of the Nile River, dominating the village of Ambar close to Mount 60 kilometers north of Al-Minya. This seems to be a whole lot more history than I thought. Antiquities dealers, whose role proved to be considerable in this business, were contacted after his discovery. One was an Egyptian named Hannah, who lived in Heliopolis, a suburb northeast of Cairo. Hannah didn't know any language other than Arabic, and had gained possession of the Codex through a colleague in Middle Egypt. Samia, a student who was a friend of the discoverers of the Codex, sold it to Hannah, on whom the papyrus document made a very strong impression. Hannah had assembled a host of precious items in his Cairo apartment to display to a new customer. But before the customer returned to pay for the objects, Hannah found his apartment emptied by nighttime robbers. The major pieces stolen were the Codex, a gold statuette of Isis, and a gold necklace. In subsequent years, objects that had been stolen from Hannah started to pop up in Europe. He decided to travel to Geneva and talk to a Greek dealer who had been regularly buying from him to seek assistance in retrieving the stolen items. In 1982, with the Greek dealer's help, Hannah eventually succeeded in recovering the Codex. Even before the theft, Hannah had consulted several experts, probably European papyrologists, to determine how valuable the Codex was, and their response prompted him to seek an extremely high selling price. We didn't know exactly who gave that incautious and questionable valuation immediately. We don't know exactly who gave that incautious and questionable valuation. Immediately after his recovery, Hannah tried by all means available to him to sell his manuscript, looking for an institution endowed with sufficient financial means to meet the price he had put on his treasure. It certainly was an exalted enterprise, but one in which he was out of his depth. Eventually, Hannah succeeded in contacting Ludwig Koenig, a member of the Department of Classical Studies of the University of Michigan. The 52 Coptic Gnostic or Gnostic-sizing treaties discovered in 1945 near Nag Hammadi in Upper Egypt, identified for the first time by Jean Doris, had caused an exceptional interest at that time among Coptologists, historians of religion, and theologians. Holy cow, why is that so hard? Between 1980 and 1980, this interest was close to its apogee. European, along with American Coptologists and Gnostic scholars, were concluding their various contributions of research and publication in this era, and one of the leaders in this enterprise was James M. Robinson, who had helped conduct the research on Coptic Gnostic manuscripts of Nag Hammadi. These scholars closely followed the European and American market advances in the hope of being able to recover and find some sponsor or university to buy one or another of the folios currently lost among the 13 codices of the Nag Hammadi library, or more or less similar texts to those that had already been discovered and identified. So this goes into more history about the finding of the Codex, and this Codex in of itself, if you go back up to page 49, part of those pages is the Gospel of Judas. So a lot of the things that are missing are from it being damaged, from it being handled, as well as previous history with it. So it kind of answers more questions on why certain lines were being missing, which I mean makes sense. It was carbon dated to it was carbon dated to 280 AD, research I did before reading this. But as I read this entire thing, I'm realizing that this entire thing is just research or history of the Codex and everything of it. So I think, besides this being maybe just a good video to post to have history about this, would be good to post out. Maybe there's something here specifically about just Judas, the Gospel of Judas. Maybe not. It looks like maybe around page 71, 72 is more where it gets into Judas. So I think tomorrow we're going to go into more history of the actual Gospel of Judas. This was more vague history about the Codex itself. And the Codex itself has 4 different findings in itself. The letter of Philip, of Peter and Philip, it was a letter of James, the Gospel of Judas, and then I'm not remembering the last one. I don't remember. It's literally in your hands. They just call it the Book of Allegiance because it's a popular name in the reading itself, because there was no actual title for this writing. So maybe tomorrow we'll just go into page 72, or in PDF's file, page 75, and just go right into it. But as of that, this will be the video for today. The title will be more so like the history of the Codex, kind of like the beginning of the history of the Codex, when it was found and everything. So I think we'll still be going into Judas, going into the Gospel of Judas and everything. Apologies if this was a little more off topic with everything, but it kind of helps me get more of a concept of where this is coming from, where this Codex is coming from, and how it's gotten damaged over time, and how the handling of it has been poorly done, and things of that nature. With that, I'm going to log out. I keep getting distracted here, and I don't want to keep pulling myself away from the video. So I am going to log out here. I will see you all tomorrow, and thank you so much for watching. We'll see you all tomorrow. Bye.